Hello, everybody, and welcome to Spiritual Successor, a video game design podcast inspired by Polygon's Cool Games Inc. I'm your host, AJ Hart.
And I am your other host, Blake Rea.
And we're now on episode 5, and I just wanted to say really quick, we gotta keep improving, Blake. I'm concerned that we're gonna become stagnant, or our audio quality is just not gonna get better.
Oh.
And not to put you on the spot, but you are my biggest issue.
Really?
And...
well,
you do this thing where you get really, really excited, and you do this thing. Can you go ahead and do it really quick for me?
Oh, are you talking about...
Yeah. So I've prepared something. I'm handing you something right now, and I want you to tell me what I've given you.
He's giving me oven mitts.
Now, Blake,
no, I can still snap with these.
No, you can't.
Yeah, I can. Listen to this.
This sucks.
Where the part where you messed up was it has like that like rubber texture to it. So I still got traction.
You found new noises to make. How is it that I've given you mittens specifically to keep our audio safe, and you found a way to sabotage it in a new and horrifying way?
AJ was yelling at me all of this week that I kept ruining our recording because I excitedly snapped whenever I really liked his idea or mine. I know it only happened it happened whenever I had a good idea.
I was so excited to stump you on this.
Oh, man.
Okay, well, you can keep those on, and I'm just
Okay.
going to get really upset if you start... You know what? Actually, I don't care if you start making noises. You're the one editing it, so you're going to look like the jackass.
We should get a picture of this and post it on the Twitter.
Thank you, guys. Welcome to Spiritual Successor. On this podcast, we, of course, take your submissions from the old Cool Games Inc. Reddit or straight to us via Twitter, and we turned those video game ideas into the next AAA best-selling title. Blake, do you have a submission for me? Why are you eating the oven mitt?
Because there was like a little bit of... I don't have hands, so I can't get it off right now, but there was like a...
What are you doing?
I'm sorry. AJ, help.
From my perspective now, I just have this burping, mitten-wearing baby in front of me that's now messing with his cell phone.
I can't get my phone open. AJ, how can I do my pitches? I can't do my phone. Okay, I'm taking these off. This sucks. It is way too hot to have these on. Okay. Since AJ put me on the spot, I'm going to pitch you a game that I'm really excited about once you stop, laughing over there.
Who is this from?
This is a Reddit submission from Bilbo414. It is a Telltale-style game where you can never quite understand what the person is saying to you. So you have to choose between the vague responses like, haha, yeah, and shrug.
Okay, so this is almost every discussion I've been trapped in with, like, my friends' aunts. Like, you know the feeling when you go to your family's Thanksgiving or your friend's Thanksgiving
where you have nothing to say.
Yeah, and they're just like, "Oh, so how are you doing? Do you have a friend?" And you're like,
So it's okay. So it's a little indie game, and we call it Thanksgiving. And basically, it's just you got invited to your best friend's Thanksgiving thing, but you are trying to get out of it. It's like, think of it like a sneaking game, but out in the open. Like you're just trying to say, it's like a bunch of quick time. I did it!
See, you snapped again. Put the mittens back on.
No, but they're warm. This sucks.
So then the idea would be that it's a Telltale game where you want to have the least amount of interaction with anybody possible.
Yes. So you're just constantly trying to dodge the bullet against people. And what would be a situation? Do you think we can do a better situation with that?
I think that you could do a couple scenarios that I know that where I hate talking to people. Maybe there's you're going to go get food from like a drive-thru, and the stupid machine comes on, and it's just the whole Telltale game. Oh, here it is. It's a mod. I suggest we release a mod to any Telltale game where it just sounds like everybody that's talking is talking through a shitty Burger King drive-thru speaker.
Wait. You remember that indie game, Papers, Please?
Yeah.
It's like that, but like you're the fast food person just trying to get everybody to move along.
But you can't hear what the people are saying.
Yeah, so you just kind of have to like guess what their order is.
A Telltale game where you're just working a drive-thru station.
But like there could be some weird story like going on, like as so, like in one thing, this is very much like Papers, Please, but you would find out this overarching story because of the certain people that would try and come through the border. So you would like see this bigger picture going on.
I got
so there could be
the bigger picture is that it's 2 a.m. and everyone that's coming through the drive-thru is drunk and they just want their Burger King bacon cheesy tots.
It doesn't sound very fun.
Is Burger King open that late even?
I don't even know. I don't go to Burger King enough. One person in our friend group doesn't like Burger King like AJ and I do, so we don't go too often. AJ, do you have a pitch?
Yeah, I've got a submission comes from Twitter.
Oh, excellent. I've been getting a little bit more of those lately.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
This submission is from Proud Cat and Fish Father at Skeleton Jock.
That's a good name.
I hope that his kids get along together.
I've never heard. Is that a new Twitter user?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. Thank you very much for your submission.
So Skeleton Jock submits Mortal Kombat, but it's with the entire cast of The Muppets and other works from Jim Henson. See, what's incredible about this is there are some Jim Henson movies like The Dark Crystal where they already look like they belong in Mortal Kombat. Those the Dark Crystal birds that
they have the armor and just like are freaking crazy looking.
But I'm really interested in Jim Henson did The Labyrinth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, could you imagine like the big monster Goliath guy just beating the shit out of Kermit the Frog?
Just throwing?
Yeah, he just picks up the stupid Muppet and tosses them around.
I know he wasn't created by Jim Henson, but he was created by the idea. A DLC character has to be David Bowie.
David Bowie was created by Jim Henson?
No, he was in the movie Jim Henson. No, not the movie Jim Henson, but in the movie Labyrinth. And then he's an unlockable character. He has to be an unlockable character. And then
Jareth, the Goblin King?
Jareth. And then you can also like maybe the kid from the Muppets Pirate movie kind of is an unlockable character.
Yeah. I like the idea of Jareth. I'm sorry, I don't have a lot of Muppets information, but I have a lot of Jim Henson knowledge. So Jareth the Goblin King's fatality would be that he picks somebody up and yells, "Jump, magic, jump," and then you listen to the whole song and he yeets the person super high into the air.
Ooh,
and they never come down, and then the fatality comes on the screen.
No, I got one for you. So he does the jump song number, but then as soon as he throws them in the air, he pulls out the 3 crystal balls and he just fucking chucks each one at them while they're in the air and just like punctures them with holes and stuff.
And then, of course, we've got Miss Piggy.
We also have all of Fraggle Rock, which could be like you can do it like it's a Fraggle Rock versus the Muppets, where it's like Marvel versus Capcom.
Okay. Okay. So on the roster, all the Muppets are on one side and all Fraggle Rock is on the other. You got your hit Fraggle Rock characters like Fraggle.
I don't know enough about Fraggle Rock.
Okay, me neither.
Why did you pitch this?
Why did you bring up Fraggle Rock?
Because I know that's Jim Henson.
But then you've got like the animal, and he's just like going to town on the drums. And I think that's his whole like attack system is that he's got those big drum kits, and he just pa 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 pa.
I would love building on this a little bit. It'd be kind of cool. Maybe we just mod this a little bit to where it's not just the Muppets, but it's every puppet ever brought in through television and media. So I'm talking about, do you remember the librarians? The lion? They were okay, Zaboomba-Foo? How about that?
Zaboomba-Foo. I'm sorry, were you referring to Between the Lions?
Oh, yeah.
Don't come in here and talk to me like you know shit about PBS, Blake.
I didn't. I don't think I had public access.
Were you locked in a cave?
No.
Do you have a submission?
I kind of like that though. It's just picture. It's like all of the Between the Lions stuff.
I'm really interested to think about what Kermit the Frog would do to kill somebody. What do you think he would do?
He would climb in them.
I hate the suggestion now, and now it's bad.
He would turn them into a puppet.
And he puts his hand up your ass, and then you talk.
Kermit the Frog here, operating you. Okay, I do have a submission. I like this one. This one leaves a lot of room for discovery.
Okay.
A battle royale where the player gets bigger and not the play area. And this is coming from Cosmic Glitch. on the Reddit page. I like the idea. You ever played Spore?
Yeah, I've played Spore.
You remember how basically...
Are we talking about the first half of Spore when it's good and fun, or the second half of Spore when it's like an RTS and
when
it's
when it gets all
boring?
civilization-y, it kind of got boring.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm talking about the beginning of the game where like the leveling was very simple.
Yeah.
Is like you can eat things that are smaller than you. You can't eat things that are bigger than you.
Okay.
So what if it's like that, where you have to say, let's just use
But that's just like the...
No. So there's a bunch of weapons throughout the world
Uh-huh.
that are huge, or they go from like really, really small to really, really big. So you are constantly outgrowing the weapons that you're trying to collect.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that a lot. I thought
Mhm.
you were going to go with the idea of like you just eat the other people. And I was like, oh, that's already been done 100
Yeah.
times.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so there's things in the environment that you can only interact with when you're big enough to interact with them.
And you can outgrow guns, or like maybe you can have a really fun thing of like...
I don't think you ever outgrow the gun.
So you just start a little, like you have a little pea shooter.
Yeah, it
with,
gets
like,
smaller
God,
and
that'd be
smaller.
so funny.
And as like every time somebody dies, then like everybody gets bigger. Their health pools get bigger. And so you outscale the gun.
So you have to get the bigger stuff.
Exactly.
Oh, I love that. What? Okay, so is it guns? Is it melee weapons? Is it like... Maybe you can do... Ooh,
well, we've already done a Battle Royale melee game, so this is guns.
Okay, I have an idea. I have an idea. So one of my favorite games that's kind of like this is Katamari. There was also another game... Katamari, sorry. And then there's, I think it's called Donut Valley. It's quite the opposite, where you're a little hole and you are constantly getting bigger to suck things in. So what my idea is like maybe you're starting off as regular people on a planet who have to use regular guns.
Okay.
But your body's growing too big, so you have to grab gun-like things in the environment. So like eventually you're growing huge to where you have to use battleship, like ships, as your guns.
Okay.
So you're just constantly growing, and and eventually you're just like two giant people. When it comes down to the last two people, it's just you walking around on Earth, and you're using satellite lasers as your guns.
Did we just invent Gurren Lagann again?
Gurren Lagann's so good. But imagine Gurren Lagann as a video game.
Okay, Gurren Lagann as a video game is a very good idea.
Yeah.
What I'm concerned about with this idea is that I'm bored of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Like, there's something really, really cool about it initially, but then I'm like, it just kind of becomes a normal Battle Royale thing.
I don't know.
Oh, but one thing that would be really cool is like if the idea is that like you're just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? And like you know how in monster movies like there will be big monsters and they move and you like they're like way slow as they're going across the screen.
Yeah.
But then when it hits, it's like what if we make that part of the game? So what if when you're small, you're like wicked fast, but then as you scale up and get bigger and bigger, you actually do become slower. So maybe we do go with the idea of it being like a beat 'em up game. Maybe we take like that Soulsborne level of combat where like you have relatively simple controls, but there's a lot of like intricacies to it. And as you get bigger, you get slower, but you deal more damage. And that way you'd still have the scaling, and then you could still have the whole idea of like you're picking up things around the environment. So when you're a little small person, you grab a tree or you grab a sword and like ting ting, it's a sword. But then you get big and then you have to use this tree and then it's like a sword.
Ooh, I like that. You have to like use... Maybe you can also do it to where every item in the environment falls into one of like 4 categories. Like it could be this counts as a sword. This could count as a shield. This could count as a gun. This could count as a throwable. And basically that way you can like just make sure everything in the environment falls into one of those 4 categories depending on what scale you are. So like say there's like beginning of the game, everybody's scale 1. End of the game, everybody's scale 10.
Yeah.
So you can do like what are the things that fall into each of those categories for every single level, and then you can have that grow and scale. Like so, level 1 would just be your normal everyday. Like a sword is a sword, a gun is a gun, a shield is a shield, and then you grow up 1 level. Now you have to use a fence post as a sword, or like a volleyball court thing as your sword.
That'd be kind of cool. I have a game idea for you though.
Okay.
Because this is cool. But I want more chuckles.
Okay.
So this submission comes from Reddit. It's from user Horsegun Inc. Thank you so much, Horsegun Inc. You are the coolest person ever, maybe.
You're the reason we're surviving on the Reddit.
A Voltron MMORPG where you play as your lion robot thing and have to make friends with real players to form Voltron.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
So it's like a normal MMO game. You have to go through, you do all your grinding and stuff like that. But then when you hit bosses are like ridiculously difficult when you're just a normal lion. So the 5 of you form a robot and go take on the boss. And it's like wicked easy because it's all the combined stats and then maybe doubled. You can scale to the bosses.
Okay, here, I have something that could build off of that. So I love the idea of like something like this. It reminds me so much of like No Man's Sky, because imagine you start off as like just some kid on a planet and you go to a junkyard and that's where you find your one piece of the mech. So the bulk of the game is you using that ship to go to different planets to collect materials to redesign your piece of the mech suit. So then like you can choose what that is like at the beginning of the game. And then you are expanding in this open world and finding new people to chill out with. And there should be like, you can't go to this planet until you beat the boss on this planet, because it's like keeping you in its orbit.
Yeah, but I really like the idea of it being an RPG, because that means that there's like 1,000 other players, and you can get any group of 5 and they can form a Voltron, right? And that's how you would do like the higher level stuff. But then of course, like when you form a Voltron, only one of you can be like the leader. And so you have to nominate whoever that leader is, and then they control the Voltron during that boss. Or maybe they take turns. But one thing that's incredibly important about MMOs and things like that is the idea of like you're constantly growing, you're constantly escalating, and you're constantly having to do bigger and badder things. What if you get 5 Voltrons together, then you can do a bigger robot?
Oh my god.
So 5 players makes 1 Voltron. 25 players can make a Voltron 2. And then if you get 5 Voltron 2s, then you can make a Voltron 3. And it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And what I love about this idea is like all of a sudden guilds really matter.
Yeah.
The idea of like, if you're a guild leader, then that means that you have like at least 25 people that have come together and they're like, nah, that's our guy. Todd is like the best Voltron pilot ever. And he's the only person we trust with our with these raids. And all of a sudden, like Todd's the coolest, most famous dude in the world.
I love the idea of that. I don't think players would really appreciate the control being taken from them.
I think they would, because I say so. Like when you here's the thing. We're going to like build in like all sort of like Twitch components, right? So like if you're not the one piloting the robot, then you can watch the robot. Or maybe we do. Oh shit, that's what it is. You know how like Twitch Play has like Twitch Plays Pokemon or Twitch Plays Dark Souls, and like the whole Twitch chat comes together to like beat all of Dark Souls or beat all of the Pokemon game. When you form a Voltron, you are put into like a Twitch chat thing. So all 5 of the players like kind of like type in together to work to beat a boss. And then when it's a Voltron 2, all 25. Voltron 3, all 125. I think that's how math works. And so it just gets bigger and bigger until you have to have like, we as the developers create this like crazy boss that's like anti-Todd.
So basically, I feel this would only work if it's turn-based. Because if it was like quick,
not necessarily.
Well, I mean, if you're
Twitch
having
beat Dark Souls.
That's difficult.
oh, hell yeah, it's difficult. I'm not making this easy. It's an MMORPG. This is like going to be the toughest thing ever, because when the whole universe comes together to beat Anti-Todd, it's going to be the coolest shit ever, Blake. Like, everyone's going to lose their goddamn mind.
It has to be like, what's the end? Okay. So
and
you
if
can't.
You're part of the team.
Oh my god. So like, okay. Every boss requires one additional person. So like the first boss, anybody can beat by themselves. The second boss requires
when you're getting the ropes.
So the second boss, say there's 25 bosses total. There. So you have to do. So it goes from beating the boss by yourself the first time. Second boss, you need to find a partner. Third boss, you need to find another third partner. Fourth boss, you need to find a fourth partner. Fifth boss, you throw in Voltron for the first time.
Yes.
So then at the 10th level is this when 2 Voltrons come together. At the 20th level is
2 Voltrons can't fuse together. They can only fuse in multiples of 5, because you need to have your whole Voltron form one arm.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, you're talking. A Voltron is made from 5 pieces, right?
Yes.
So what I'm saying is at the 10th level, you have to get 2 sets of Voltrons together.
Yes.
And at the 20th level is 4 sets, and at the 25th level, actually make it 30. So it'll be 30. It'll be 6 sets of Voltrons.
I don't want to handhold them though. I don't like the idea of like doing it like, oh, this boss, like if you bring 2 in, you're going to be fine. Oh, this boss, you're going to bring 3 in, you're going to be fine. I want them to go through the whole game like as a lion, and then they hit a wall and they're like, shit, I just can't beat this. And then someone's like, you got to form Voltron, dog. And then you form Voltron, and now you can start playing the game again because you formed a Voltron, you beat the boss, you've unlocked more of the map. You all go out and do RPG shit, you know, your quests, your grinds, you're upgrading your lion.
I think upgrading and design is going to be one of the main selling points of the game.
And all of the upgrades that you get help because like all of the stats have to come together and then double. So like if one person, I don't know how math works, but like the idea is like if one person's not grinded enough, then all of a sudden you're going to have a really, really weak right arm.
AJ. Okay, so you have to do, some of the upgrades have to be element themed. So like you can have a Voltron that has 5 different elements, but then you're going to start having guilds that are like, no, in this guild we use this element. So you have Voltrons that are like thunder themed. So now that they basically every single piece has thunder upgrades on it.
Yes.
So then you can have like really cool like guild wars of like it's the thunder Voltrons versus the fire Voltrons versus the water. No. There has to be player combat.
There are no guild wars because I want
bullshit.
Because
bullshit. No, this game's too cool, dude. People want to fight each other in their Voltrons.
Here's my reason why I don't want PvP. Because the idea that you had right there where you said, oh, this whole guild is all fire Voltrons and they can make one really big, tall fire robot, they have to come together with a team that has one really, really big lightning robot so they can have a Thunder Fist and a Lightning Fist and take on Anti-Todd.
Okay, that's the end game, but I think there should be, before that point... No. This builds out the lore so much better because it's like, it makes the final battle that much more cool because it's like these 4 warring factions have to come together to beat Anti-Todd.
Okay.
So there's guild wars at the base, but the story of the world is like in the year 20x whatever, the 4 elemental guilds had to come together to fight the biggest enemy the universe has ever seen.
I don't know how we can incentivize. How can we incentivize that the guilds will do element things? Because most of the time that I've known MMOs, they try to min-max shit up the ass.
Well,
how do we as the devs be like, nah, you want to stack up?
I was thinking like maybe the last boss is the only boss where like mixing things is like actually beneficial, but like every other boss.
That's the whole time. That's what Voltron's all about.
Well, I think I think if you put the thing out there of like why each guild exists, like their lore of like this guild exists because of like, let's picture them like as an example, like the Green Lantern Corps or the Lantern Corps. Like the Hope Corps exists because of these mentalities. The Fear Corps exists because of this mentality. The Green Corps. So you do like the Lightning Corps. The Lightning Guild exists for this certain reason. This lore. This is the planet they're from.
Time out. When you say guild, are you implying a player-generated guild? Or when you say guild, are you saying like
World of Warcraft.
The Horde versus Alliance?
Yes.
Okay, that is very different. Because when I was saying guilds, I was thinking like Famalot. Like you just call your cool group 69 420 Killers. And 69 420 Killers is just one player guild.
I think you should... I like the idea that you can sign up at the beginning... Well, let me get your opinion on something. Would it be cooler if you got the ability to choose at the beginning, like, okay, I want to join this guild because it has these specific abilities for their maps?
I don't want...
Or do you want them to find that along the way?
I want them to find it on the way. I don't want to hold hands at all. I don't want them to have, like, guilds that they can build themselves into or, like, latches on for us as the dev team to, like, kind of steer them. I want this to be like the most open source. Like I want the
guilds to naturally form.
I want the gamers themselves to be like, hey, what if we fused Voltrons together? I don't even want to tell them that they can fuse Voltrons.
They just like get together and be like, oh, holy shit, we can combine.
I want 5 players to be like, I don't know, dude, I cannot beat this boss. Like we've been like, my group of 5 has teamed up with this group of 5 for a couple times now. And we just can't beat the boss. But what if we bring 5 players in here and then form a Voltron? Whoa, holy shit, you can do that? I want this to be like the biggest moment of discovery when you can actually fuse Voltrons. I don't want to tell players
I love the idea that it's all secret. That's super cool.
I don't want to give the players any sort of routes. I want this to be some like EVE Online shit where like guilds entirely come up on their own. And that's why I don't want player versus player. I want us. I want the antagonists of the game to be the only thing that players think to themselves, yeah, I want to beat this game. I don't want to kill I don't want to kill Todd. I want Todd to love me.
I think you should do, at least there is one location, like you can call it the tournament planet.
Okay, yeah, we can have our Destiny,
whatever. You have
PvP
to have,
arena.
no, people are going to be like, I want to see, when you get to the point where there's people.
Shit, then you have two Twitch chats fighting each other in like a big Voltron combat? You're right. You're right. God, you're so smart, and sometimes I don't get it.
Like, dude.
Because I think I'm smarter than you. But sometimes you have these beautiful nuggets.
Well, see, like, I think the idea of, like, if this is a game where natural guilds start forming and people are, like, grouping up, they're gonna want to be, like, their guild leaders are going to be like, I think we can take on this other guild leader.
Hell yeah, 420 killers can absolutely dunk on Dunk Masters. They ain't got shit. Okay. We have a big fire Voltron, and they have a dumb ice Voltron.
And that's the coolest thing. Like, they'll be like, okay, and then you can maybe incentivize
and then we incentivize it, because if they keep beating each other's asses in, like, the arena, then maybe they can, like, they can steal parts from, like, other groups.
Oh,
and then it's like, shit, we stole so much from them. Now they don't want to fuse with us so that we can beat the next raid.
AJ. So the final boss is not accessible.
The anti-Todd.
The anti-Todd is not accessible until, and we don't even mention this, if we're keeping it like all secrets and it's all discovery.
Oh, for sure.
Will not show itself until a guild of a minimum amount of people forms.
500. So, I don't know how the math works.
So like, or actually like 2 guilds, because that means those 2 guilds will have to join with one another.
Well, those 2 guilds will have to build a bigger player base so that they can get 3 more, so they can form a Voltron big enough.
Actually, it would have to be 5 guilds.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it'd be 2 plus the 3.
Mm-hmm. So then, like, each guild would have to come together, and then maybe their guild leaders are the thing that takes it on, and that's the big.
And we would rack in so much money, because all we have to do, hear me out, all we have to do is put in a new boss with a bigger health pool, and every player is going to be like, I have to get 5 more friends into this game, otherwise we're never going to be able to beat this fucking boss.
No, I think that's so cool, because it's like, it motivates, like real life. It's like, we're not going to be able to defeat this obstacle until we get together as a community.
Worldwide community servers, we're going to cure and fix, like, world wars, dog. We're going to bring the whole universe together, because they're going to be like, I'm so sick of the anti-Todd showing up on random planets and doing a board wipe.
What makes anti-Todd, like, what's the thing that he's threatening this? Actually, that's what this game's missing. What is the thing that is threatening this universe and way of life? Because I think it's just the idea, because I know you come from Monster Hunter, and I know it's like just the idea of a bigger, badder enemy.
Hell yeah, bigger, badder enemies.
I want motivation. I want to know what the fuck they're doing.
All right, you want some deep lore?
Yeah.
All right, so we got Anti-Todd, and Anti-Todd's whole thing is that he hates Todds, and every character, when you generate it, you can't change the name. It's Todd.
Mm-hmm.
And so you play as a race of all Todds that form Voltrons.
Okay.
And the anti-Todd is trying to get rid of all Todds that have ever lived.
That's dumb.
All right, let's hear your cool, funny lore.
Anti-Todd, basically, if you try challenging him too early, you basically lose your mech to this Todd, and it just becomes part of the bigger mech that is Anti-Todd.
Holy shit, yes. Okay, so then...
And it gains all of the abilities.
Yes, I love this idea of, like, if you fight the Anti-Todd, so we build this game out, and we have, like, our final Anti-Todd.
Mm-hmm.
If you fail to the Anti-Todd, he absorbs all the numbers and, like, all the health of the full mech.
Oh my god.
Meaning that we end up with this arms race that players have against the enemy thing. It is... The
more people lose, the harder it gets.
Exactly.
That's terrifying.
We could create the first unwinnable MMORPG entirely due to our player base.
It would be winnable, but it requires people to really unite and organize and craft the biggest,
strongest, meanest, lionest Voltron.
Oh my god, that'd be so cool. I like if that's only one enemy that's like that. So the game is still accessible.
The rest of it will have a normal like raid system full of like, oh, you only need 25 to beat this raid. Yeah. Oh, you only need like 100 to beat this raid. But
this is the ultimate boss that is commanding all of the little mini bosses through the game.
For sure. And we'll back
awesome.
up a whole whole deep lore about the Anti-Todd. I just don't want to do it now. We'll go back, we'll work on the design doc, and we'll come back.
Okay, my next question is, what are some of the upgrades that you can do, and how does that affect gameplay?
All right, you can get a bigger mouth. And if you have a bigger, hear me out. You get a bigger lion mouth, and then when you transform into Voltron,
You know, there's
bigger...
AJ. You know, there's other animals in Voltron except for Voltron, right?
No, there's not.
Yeah, it is.
There's lions only in Voltron.
There's lions only in Voltron?
Yes.
Is that Power Rangers?
Have you not seen a Voltron? Oh my...
I heard the new series kind of sucked because it gay baited.
Well, yeah, but we're not going to get into that right now. Voltron is so goddamn radical. It is 5 lions that transform into a giant robot, and we've made it better by making 5 robots made of lions that turn into bigger robots.
Okay, so can people choose their own animal at the beginning of the game?
No.
I think that's cool. I think that's crucial that you can choose your animal because that adds personality to it. Because some people imagine a fucking shark shooting lasers.
Imagine a lion shooting lasers.
Not as cool as a shark shooting lasers, because a shark is swimming through space.
The animals don't count after the first arc anyway, because once you start building your Voltron, then it's all, like, Voltron
No, because you're going to have guilds that are just, like, guilds are going to form from people like, we're all sharks. We're the sharks and we're the jets. That's a thing people will do, and I think people will love the shit out of that.
All right. All right. You pitched me, and then here's how it works.
Okay.
When you create your mech, your original Voltron lion, they're called lions. I don't care.
A mech called lion is kind of cool, actually.
They can be a shark, but they're called a lion. Anyway, because then our Voltron will be called a Pride, and then you need more Prides to build a Pride 2.
I think you're betting yourself too much into Voltron, dude.
Well, this way we don't get sued by Voltron. Because I don't want to have to pay for their rights, because now we're not doing only lions, so we have no reason to get Voltron in on it. What's up, DreamWorks? Eat my dick. So here's what we do. When you build your mech, you get to choose your 2 classes. You get to choose your animal, and you get to choose what part of the Voltron you are.
Ooh, so not all people will be accessible to everyone.
Nah, I think you choose the lion. I don't like the idea of having to choose what part of you are, because then that doesn't incentivize the idea of, like, anyone can combine.
Yeah, I think that would be limiting. As cool as it, I think every mech has the ability to be any part.
Yeah.
Depending on what they are. I think once you maybe meet up with people, you are all put on, like, a spec sheet of, like, okay, this person is assigned to this arm, this person is assigned to be the chest, and we set it up to where all of the animals can be morphed and formed into to take the piece of whatever they are.
And depending on how you spec'd,
yeah,
that would depend, like, Gregory's so good at being a left shoulder, but if you put him on the legs, we're gonna fall over all over the place.
Yeah, he has reinforced, like, plating, so he works at carrying the team.
Exactly.
Basically. Okay, that's kind of cool. Would it be are we gonna do the element theme? Or elements added to it?
I think you can have elements when you, like, do your weapons and stuff, because then it would be like, oh, fuck yeah. It'd be like, oh, my Voltron has, like, a bunch of lightnings and a bunch of fires. So when we fire something, we shoot a big fire lightning laser.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that.
This idea is really, really cool and kick-ass.
I'm very into it. All right, is there anything else we can think of it? What does Andy Todd look like? Is it just... Oh my God! It's just Todd's face. It's made up of a bunch of smaller Todd faces.
I just wanted you to know I've accidentally been imagining Todd Howard this whole time.
Yeah, me as well.
Okay, cool.
But like a robot version of his face.
Yeah, a robot Todd Howard. And maybe we can get him into it.
This is Bethesda. We contact Bethesda.
Yeah. Maybe we get Bethesda in on this.
So, like, we basically just pitch this to them and tell them, hey, fuck Starfield. And
yeah, fuck Starfield. I don't know what Starfield is. You didn't tell us, but good news, Todd. We know what it is. And it's definitely not Voltron.
I like that.
Anyway, please make a good MMO this time.
Are we ready to go to patch notes?
Oh, shit. Was that a nug?
Yeah. We're already coming up.
All right, we got to think of a name then. Oh, I guess we'd have the name. Starfield.
Starfield parentheses, not the Bethesda game.
Starfield. I think no, it's definitely Bethesda's Starfield. They're building it.
Bethesda Starfield 2019.
Yes, Bethesda's Starfield 2019.
People are gonna be pissed.
People are gonna love it. People are gonna love it because we made a good game. We made a good game, and I can't wait to see Twitch chat destroy Anti-Todd. And then the lore is that just Bethesda employees built all of these enemies because they're sick of Bethesda.
Oh my God. Okay.
And we just do a real meta lore.
So, okay, no. How about this? How about all the pilots at the beginning are just clones of Todd?
You're all clones of Todd building giant robots to fight Anti-Todd.
Yeah.
Which is the amalgamation of all of the estranged, frustrated Bethesda employees.
I'm ready to go to patch notes.
All right, let's go to patch notes. Thank you guys so much for listening to Spiritual Successor. Really quick, I wanted to say, if you guys could keep tweeting at us and keep submitting onto the Reddit, it would mean a whole lot to us. If you could go ahead and leave a review on iTunes and Google Play, that means so much to us on our back end.
Mm-hmm. Additionally, if you guys know anybody that previously listened to Cool Games Inc. and want to show them this podcast, please do so.
Yeah.
Greatly appreciate it.
If somebody showed you Cool Games Inc., you have to show them this podcast to repay the podcast debt. If you showed your friends Cool Games Inc., then you can show them this podcast and you can double up on the podcast debt. And then you legally are allowed to break their kneecaps. I say so.
That's terrible.
Well?
All right.
Oh, shit, that breaks the Xbox rules.
We broke the Xbox rules?
Yeah, I can't.
Oh.
I can't say violence is cool. Sorry, let me try that again. If you tell somebody about this podcast and you can double down on the podcast debt, then they legally have to give you all of their spicy hot flamin' Cheetos.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
Mm-hmm. And their Takis. Also, one last thing, the intro and outro music that we do is Cheap Shop by Anna Monoguchi. It's an excellent song from an excellent soundtrack from an excellent game.
I am Blake Rea.
And I'm AJ Hart. And as always, these are cool games
that should not be made.